Statistics, Unit 1, Lesson 2, Social Media of Choice is the activity that we're going to be doing, and we're going to be discussing bar graphs and pie charts. Okay, so in class, I ask the students to make a list of all the social media apps that students might use. Then we ask the entire class to record the data and see how many each person liked to do on their favorite one. So at that point, we made the frequency table and relative frequency table. A frequency table is how many, so if 5 people like Twitter, and 12 people like Instagram, and 8 people like Snapchat, you would see this is what I came up with. 5, 12, and 8. For the pie graph, we use our relative frequency. So with that, I would say since I have 5 people like Twitter, and there's 25 people total, 5 divided by 25 is 20%. And so you can see about 20% of the data is on the pie graph where Twitter is. And 12 people we said liked Instagram, and out of the 25, that's 48%. And you can see that almost half of the graph is made of Instagram. And finally, the remainder percentage is Snapchat. And that is called my relative frequency. My relative frequency uses the percentages of my total. Now you can go ahead and click this statsmedic.com applets, and you can make a bar and pie chart by choosing one categorical variable as single group. So the difference between a pie chart and a bar graph is mainly the pie chart uses your relative frequency and shows percentages, and your bar chart shows your frequency. So the quick notes, you can go ahead and write LT1, which is Learning Target 1. Shows you with a bar chart, you need to make sure you have a title, that's bar chart, label, category 1, category 2 in this particular example. Label again on the y-axis, which was frequency, and then your tick marks, so you're going to actually label it. So for instance, on this Twitter one, we have my labels of Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, and the frequency showing on the y-axis. The pie chart, you need to make sure you have a key. And then the Learning Target 2, to compare your distributions, you could have a side-by-side bar chart. So you could put a bar chart if it had several categories, and then you could put another bar chart right next to it. And then you need to also use relative frequencies to actually compare the percentages, because it's a little bit harder to compare frequencies than percentages. It gives you a little bit more data. Watch out for deceptive graphs. I'm going to go ahead and show you a deceptive graph. Let's go ahead and look. Okay, so here's one example of deceptive graphs. So this one looks like it's a huge difference in 2009 quarter 1 to 2011 quarter 2 from the very first bar to the last bar. It looks like it's like 3 or 4 times as high. But if you notice, the problem is that it started at 94,000. If you had it start at 0, it would just show that it's just a little bit taller, not that far down. This here, you can see these are other deceptive graphs. Another one, again, this one didn't start at 0, so it looks like, whoa, it's way higher. But 34 and 40 are only 6 percentage points away, so it's really not double or triple or quadruple as this one shows. Also, pictographs you can show. You can see, of course, there's another one with the 0. Pictographs are also deceptive graphs, which I'll show you one here. Pictograph. Okay, like this one here. Oh, sorry. You can't see it. There it is. Okay, so for the ice cream cones, you can see the ice cream cones are so gigantic that they look like they're way more than the fries. And if you notice, there's actually more fries than ice cream cones in this graph. But the pictograph makes it look like the ice cream cones are a bigger representation when they're not. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the check for understanding. So check for understanding. This one just wants you to go ahead and look at this data and describe what you see. So if you describe what you see, you can just say most of the adults were surveyed, 81% own a smartphone, and we saw 212 adults own a cell phone that's not a smartphone, which is 14.1%, and even fewer adults do not own a cell phone, which is about 4.9%. This is a side-by-side bar chart, and a side-by-side bar chart shows you 18 to 29, no cell phone, or smartphone, and each category on each age group. So that really is very, very helpful to show. And if I ask you to compare them, you can go ahead and read it and see, but I'm comparing them and using numbers like smaller, larger, and things like that to use comparative language. All right, thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.